Complexities turn to ban.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Captain's Draft 3.0, Day 2, series between Complexity and Power Rangers. Sunsfan here with Purge and our very special stats guy for today. Depending on how he does, we might have to fire him, but I have good aspirations for you, Sir Action Slacks. Say hello, Slacks. Alright, now shut your mouth. Okay, Purge, how's it going?
Pretty good. Can't wait to see how Slacks does. That's my most exciting thing about this match.
Yeah, well, that's not good. Exciting thing, Jesus.
I mean, I'm excited watching Captain's Draft as well. We've been seeing some teams forced into some bad drafts, some drafts that don't make very much sense, and it's fun to see why they're weak and why they're bad and talk about that. So it's any analysis person stream, basically, and every stats person stream, unless you're Slacks and don't know what you're doing yet. So
Slacks, can you like interrupt every now and then, just like say something? Just you have Tourette's. Is that a thing?
Radiant team.
All right, there you go. That's what I love. Oh my God! Look at
Complexities.
first pick Omni now. Holy jeez, that's a little early, don't you think? All right, good. Purge. First.
I mean, it's okay. There's not a lot of supports in the pool. There are some though. It's like what Ogre, Disruptor, Visage, Omni Knight, Lena are all the support options. So they just picked it off right off the bat. They might combo it with a certain hero that makes it very, very strong, such as a TA, for example. But TA has been picked instead, so they may be forced into something a bit different. Kind of like the idea of doing PA with Omni Knight. I think that would be smart.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Because PA is just pretty bad right now because she dies too easily to nukes. But if you have Omni Knight with that, it would actually be decent in the laning stage. So maybe that's the solution.
Not super good against TA though, but I do like the Omni PA combo. I'm trying to think who else would be decent. How's the new Void with Omni?
I think he really needs it, but it probably works fine. Like Void is already just really hard to kill. Basically, I've found that he ends up dying 0 times in the game very often. Kind of disgusting.
That is disgusting. Well, there's still plenty of great heroes in the pool. I mean, we see, like you said, Bristleback is also a decent combo there if they want to that bad boy up. Pudge is always available, guys. That's something I made sure they coded in Captain's Draft, that Pudge is always one of the picks. So
Pudge is just pretty good against Templar Assassin at later stages. You need Rot to be at least level 2, and then it breaks refraction charges. So Pudge is a decent counter to TA that they could do. They could do support if they want to, and I'm sure it's a hero that's played by some of these guys in pubs very often. But going full tryhard, man, Disruptor, and Omni Knight.
Yeah. So in all likelihood, going to be a core Lena. And looking at the side of Complexity, I thought they had a stand-in. I guess they full roster. That's good to see. But I would be shocked if Void is not picked by somebody. He's probably the best offlaner in this pool right now, other than Tidehunter maybe.
I think there was a draft yesterday where he made it through and didn't get picked as well, which is a little surprising. There's the pick. I think Power Rangers has good heroes against it. Both Lena and Disruptor give you good Void options. You can glimpse him back, you can silence him, and you can Lena burst him. So they have some of the tools to deal with Faces Void, and that's good for them. Omni Knight, though, I feel like isn't really... he's an okay solution against Void. If he's able to stay on the outside of the Chronosphere and give Guardian Angel to his team, they're going to be in a healthy spot, plus he can purify them. So I kind of like the draft against Faces Void here. I think it might work out all right.
All right, money on Sniper. Is it happening ever?
Definitely not this game. Bad against TA, bad against
Tell me
Tiny,
it's
bad
happening.
against Void.
Tell me.
I'm just saying Sniper is only a good hero in very certain drafts. He's bad against Spectre, he's bad against Void, he's bad against TA, he's bad against Tiny, he's bad against so many heroes. If you can close gap, Sniper is just pretty weak right now. It takes him, he needs to stay ahead in terms of farm, and even then late game he still has some issues, so it'd be kind of tough for him to do
hero. PR went for a super duper team fight lineup compared to Complexity at least. We have Spectre Hunt with Titan Ravage, Destruct, Static Storm versus basically a Chronosphere, and honestly there's not a whole lot of, like with the Chronosphere, nothing really sets it up for damage unless you like position it perfectly. Like TA can just stand there and auto attack. Like as far as wombo combo, Complexity does not have anything near that.
It's a really good point. Rubik can steal some good spells though, so maybe they can do some integrations like that, but it may limit Faces Void's efficiency. You're definitely right.
It's actually true. Rubik can steal something good from Omni Knight every single time, huh? Yeah, pretty much all the time. It can be Repel or Purification. occasional GA.
But if he is stealing
Yeah.
repel in the early game, it's going to be kind of low duration, and I don't know if they're going to be able to use that in team fights. They may not be able to rely on it too much. So who's their second support
Is this a
here?
support morph? No, definitely not now. All right, it must be support Tiny then. No, it's support.
I mean, it could be, and not that he'll support very well, but he could just Iron Talon jungle.
That's super greedy. I don't know. Let's see.
Prepare
Okay, so
for
Swindle is the off lane. Void. Mid on the TA, and then Chessie, carry, Morphling. Yeah, Z-Freak's the... So he's gonna do that, the old Pullaroo here at this camp, close to the Ancients. So he'll essentially toss a creep onto the wave, and then the wave will be pushed all the way in favor of Complexity. Oh, I can actually ping. You guys can see it. Here.
God, you're so new to casting.
Ping! Well, it's more that I had to move my freaking layout so that people wouldn't hear me click as much. So now it's not on the Alt key. Confusing. You know how it is, Purge. It's a tough life we live.
You guys understand my drawing on the map? You pull it over, and then you toss it into the creep wave.
Wait, do it again?
Alright, see the arrow? That
No, I
means
see.
the
I don't
creeps-
see anything.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. So you can't draw. Oh, when it's paused. Okay.
What about on the minimap? Can't you see the minimap?
Oh, here we go. First stat of the day, guys. That's a little normal.
Right, he's figured it out.
Nice job, Slack. That is him popping his stats cherry, I believe.
Sexual. You really can't see the drawings on the map that I'm doing?
He says you can't do it while it's paused.
Okay. I mean, I can't see my drawings on the ground. I can see the drawings on the... I can see that.
Here, do you see this?
Yeah.
This amazing drawing? Okay, good.
So
Alright, well...
only we can see each other's not. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Pimp drew the H. We're good. We're dandy. Cheshire Cat on the Tide Hunt, going around in that beautiful taunt. What a pro. Actually, that is a crazy...
This Tide one?
Yeah.
Oh.
30 seconds.
So, just so you guys know, before we get started, I don't think we'll line action here in the early part of the game, but the compendium is out for the tournament. Thanks to Buka for setting all that up. It's been a real pain. It's the first third-party compendium since Reborn has been released. So right now it's in a super basic form, but we'll be adding a lot of cool stuff because there are some really cool stuff with Source 2 that you can... Well, technically, I think it's called Panorama UI or something, but whatever the new stuff in Reborn, there's stuff you can do that you got to do past Engine. So we're going to try to push the limits. What we're trying.
Speaking of new things Dota 2 can do, did you know that it has a 3D mode?
What?
Dota 2 has a 3D mode. I found this out the other day when I logged in, and I was like, "Pimp, why is all my shit messed up?" And then as I actually got into a game, I noticed that some of the heroes had like the red-blue spread thing, like in 3D movies. You know, there's literally a 3D mode for Dota 2. The heroes will look three-dimensional if you have the red-blue glasses. There's an option on my video card to change it.
Oh no, that me too. I didn't actually open the game though. I saw like the UI, or
yeah, the UI was messed up.
The
and
menu.
I was like, man, obviously there's something wrong with my monitor.
Yeah, did you update your drivers? Because when I updated my drivers, it turned on 3D for some reason.
Yeah, it just turned on for me. It was really weird.
Alright, now I kind of want to get 3D glasses just to test that out.
You can probably get them on Amazon for like $1 or something. Or they're super cheap.
Yeah, I'll try to expense it to the Moonduck account. I don't know if I can afford that.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah. But there's no way they have any cool effects that like come at you through the...
Yeah, it said it had like a
Highly
medium rating or something. It was like okay, but not very good.
Yeah, I mean maybe like the Meteor from Evoker or something.
Oh yeah, that might be cool.
Those come in the sky.
From my perspective, it just looked like heroes, not even creeps or that 3D. But here's the important part. Anyways, in the mid lane, it's going pretty well for Lina. She's up to 6-4. TA has 2 last hits, so a bit of a tough matchup there, just because Lina has a big range. So as long as he's doing a good job harassing the TA, then he can also last hit and deny a lot of times.
This is a thing that a lot of people are bothered by with TA, is the fact that she can catch up so easily with Ancient. So it doesn't really matter that much as long as she gets Ancient stacks at some point, which I'm guessing Z end up stacking for her in this early game.
It's not super common for TA. He actually did miss a stack here, small mistake, but he was going for the rune. TA's just not that common on the dire side, I feel. Do the toss, what's he waiting for? Oh, he's actually just trying to cover it, I guess.
Wants that regen, son. You know, you can
He could've
toss
gotten
the
a free
runes
toss.
again.
Radiant's
Purge.
courier has been
Whoa.
Courier's gonna get destroyed by Handskin. Bottle,
nice.
damn. Alright, so Lina, despite having the lead, is gonna have to wait for that bottle now. See how that goes.
Pretty big advantage considering that Lina doesn't have that much regen left, so Handskin just kind of has to sit here and hang out and do some harass.
Alright, tell me when a rune, being able to toss to a rune becomes useful.
If you're two people running to a rune and somebody's going to get there before you, toss your support onto the rune and he takes it first. Boom!
Oh man.
How's that feel?
That sounds amazing. Have you ever seen it?
Of course not, dude.
But it was in Dota 1, right?
I don't know. Can't confirm.
I mean, that was the complaint,
played
is
that
that it
game.
wasn't in... Worked in Source 1 as well, and then they got rid of it for some reason, or it was a
I
bug,
didn't
yeah.
know that.
But most of Dota's life, you've been able to do that, and I've never. Lena's gonna get tossed in the air, and Fatal's not gonna be quite enough. One right click will do it. Gets first blood. Not only Lena lose her bottle, at least for a couple minutes, thanks to the courier dying, but Limp will find first blood thanks to the help of Rubik.
Yeah,
Swindle
Handskin,
bottom lane, some damage, you'll be okay.
Like, it's a huge advantage for them to kill the bottle. It basically means that Lena's HP won't be as high. Then when the actual gank comes through, it makes it much easier to get the kill. So really, really nice plays there by Rubik. He completely won his lane for the TA here.
And they don't really, PR don't really have a hero that can gank at the early stages. Like if Disruptor comes, what's he gonna do? He can glimpse, but he doesn't have kinetic field. He needs to be at level 3. So they're kind of stuck in a precarious spot there. So Lena's just gonna have to wait for that bottle to come.
How about the fact that Faces Void is basically battling versus 3 heroes and doesn't really care that much? So
I have to fix my in-game, apparently. My apologies.
Spectre, an Omni Knight, and a Disruptor, and he's just up here hitting creeps. That's Faces Void, man. I really feel like in Captain's Draft, the 2 heroes that you can't let through are Faces Void and Enchantress. Like, because they just have very few counters as a whole. I mean, Lina is one of them. Lina is a great hero against either of those 2 heroes, but look how much trouble they're having with Void. He just stands in his lane. If he takes too much damage, he just like backtracks the damage.
Yeah, oh, he's gonna get glimpsed back. They
give a shit.
still do
Watch
not have
this.
kinetic field. Yeah, he's just gonna backtrack everything with the time walk.
40
How
mana.
is time dilation this game? I'm guessing it's good against Tidehunters, Anchor. I mean, basically, the lower the cooldown, the better it is, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Anchor Smash is one skill that would be really good against.
It's really good against Omni Knight. It means you
Yeah,
can
Omni
only
Knight
like
just spams his
purify
spells
once.
as much as he can. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's good against pretty much everything here. Like, it's almost always good. It's pretty much always a good ability. Just the fact that if you can't cycle your 10-second, 15-second abilities twice in a fight is a massive difference.
Slow applied by Limp on that TA. General's gonna get popped back. LSA will connect,
So-
and he's gonna be just fine. General is this is the old pub star, not old, but this is the pub star of like 6 months ago that everybody was talking about, right? You've heard of him from the past? Purge.
His name looks familiar to me, but he's definitely playing very well. I think he's been doing nicely in the mid lane. Just he got a bit outlaned with that courier snipe, really.
And it looks like Handskin and Zephyr are going to be attempting yet another gank. They're going to run into, in all likelihood, the Omni Knight. I'm not sure if they saw him with the ward. Yeah, they see him. They're just going to literally completely ignore him until they start to right-click now. There's the telekinesis. Avalanche. He gets the purification off. They're able to find the kill regardless. 2-0 advantage for complexity at the early stage.
I just want to thank Slacks for these stats. They're
I don't
incredible.
have time to read them. I'm so sad. How about every time it comes up, you just read it out loud for me? I know.
I mean, it's kind of hard to read it. There's been a couple spelling errors, but it's okay.
That's what do you expect?
He was good
No
on the first
surprise
two,
there.
and it's been going downhill. He spelled Rubik wrong. He capitalized Satan.
Wait, how did he spell Rubik wrong?
Forgot the K on the end.
Rubik with
He
a
spelled
C?
it kind of like Big Pen.
Oh, I see. Wow. Well, he is very tired. God bless his soul. Very nice. Well, Zephyr picks up an Invis rune. He's only level 2, does have the combo, but doesn't do a whole lot of damage. All that really matters is the lockdown. If Limp can be in range for a couple auto attacks, it should be a kill. And Hansen is going to come over as well. General getting slowed perpetually by the traps. Support coming. There's the avalanche and the top. That should be enough for the kill. Very long TP for Omni. I believe that
man.
Lina TP'd originally, right? As this
That's-
going to drop.
It's got to be so tilting for Lina though. Like imagine you're in this lane, you're stomping it, and all of a sudden you get courier sniped, and then after that you get ganked, and then you get ganked by an invisible hero. That's the worst when you're like, okay, I'm gonna not tilt, I'm gonna regain control, and then somebody gets a rune. That means that you're just dead. Like you can't stop the gank when they get an invis in a lot of cases. So, man, that's got to be super tilting there for Lina. You're right about that.
Very nice. You think people will mind if I just read the stats? It'll make my life so much easier, because then I won't have to just sit silently. I'm gonna start doing that and see what people
read. You don't have to read them. That like kills the joke.
Well, like no. If I'm okay, I guess if you want to do it a passive way, that's fine. It's just if I'm like casting a team fight or something, I want to stop and read the stats. You know?
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's good. I knew you agree with that.
The stats are great, but they're supplementary.
Face is supplementary. Isn't that right, Slacks?
My body? Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay. Dwindle's gonna get a nice double pull here. Gonna be interrupted by Disruptor. Take the catapult and the range creep.
Tower is under attack.
So PR are up. We're gonna initiate onto Swindle. He's gonna backtrack a little bit of that thanks to the time walk. Back he goes though. Glimpse kinetic field, gets the chronosphere off. Pops his health salve, does not have a TP. Will he be able to get away? I highly doubt it. Although TA is here for support. Swindle getting haunted. In a time walk, is he gonna TP out? One more right click's gonna take him out, and now Limp is in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage. Bignum able to the face. Purification is not gonna be able to take Limp out. Pops the refraction as well. Handskin on the run, gets slowed and drops. So 2 for nothing. PR doing a nice job of recovering here. Z-Freak's on the run. Don't think they're gonna catch him unless Dragon Slade will find him, but definitely not in range now.
Yeah, there's a really nice initiation there on the Face's Void. The Glimpse completely counters the hero. He jumps away, you send him back, and it maybe doesn't counteract the damage that he's healing, but it is going to put him further out of position, and he's going to still be on cooldown for Time Walk. I think he made a slight mistake after the Haunt, in that he should have waited for Spectre to relocate before he did do his jump and TP attempt. Because at that stage, she was able to get into melee range, and made it a little bit easier for him to die.
At Desolate level 4 too. That definitely came into play there. Pure damage, just rick-rolling the poor Time Walking Void. Meanwhile, top lane, Cheshire got forced out with his Ravage. Chessie's like, that's fine with me.
Yeah, really nice job by Chessie there to force that. I love this set, by the way. This Morphling set's like the best one in the game.
That's the Anuxi set, I believe. I think
Era's set, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But I think it is Anuxi's. It's so good.
It's either just Anuxi or Anuxi and Danny Dem. I never remember. Either way. Pretty legit. Got the Scotty on the back. Pretty much you have to buy that.
Yeah.
Scotty when you're playing this hero.
That's not true, but
no, it's definitely.
It's definitely another thing that you haven't learned in years.
You have to supplement the item choices in game with the ones that are on your cosmetics. That's what I'm saying. So if he had the ethereal on his arms, which he does not, he'd have to get that too.
You know, I really liked that cosmetic at the start, but as time went on, I disliked it.
Well, you are a curmudgeon, so. Wait, why? It looks great.
I don't know, it's just a little too flashy to me.
Yeah, too flashy. Get off my lawn style. That's what I think of. Flashy's good, man.
We'll see if they find the Sentry Ward. It does have the Ancient stack. It's gonna be important to check here because he did deward. I don't think they're gonna see it. Figure it out later when it doesn't stack. Does he spot it? Oh, it doesn't. Wow, that's actually hidden. I can't believe it.
Oh, top lane. Cheshire Cat's going to take a waveform. Of course, he does not have Ravage to get away, but pops the Buckler. Again, nice amount of armor and some TP support as well. And Z-Freak. Gahan going to take a gush, gets the Avalanche off, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He drops to the deck, but this took a pretty large rotation from PR. They need to get more out of that.
I mean, it was a lot of rotations. They maybe should have been checking ahead to see if there were TP supports, because they did have that great ward spotting out the camp, but they didn't see him coming. Z-Freak goes down. It forced a lot of rotations, but that's Spectre, man. Spectre's happy to get kills. Maybe he's limiting his farm by a little bit, but if Face's Void's still bottom and pressuring, then it's not the worst thing in the world to go off and get a kill.
General looking for a potential kill on Limp, but Limp's just going to blink away with that newly purchased Blink Dagger. He took out a couple Ancients in order to ensure that he got that as bottom lane. Chronosphere, Fade Bolt, right click should suffice. J4 dead. I believe that's the second Chronosphere of the game, but the first offensive usage.
Yeah. And just takes a little bit extra doing with Faces Void to get kills now. One other hero is usually going to secure support, and any core is going to take like 3 heroes. So Faces Void can now transition to being his annoying Never Die, casting Time Dilation hero.
And I mean, Time Walk with a 6-second cooldown is pretty ridiculous. Obviously, the range was reduced, but it's all about backtrack damage now.
Yep.
Alright, Disruptor is going to find the glimpse into a kinetic field static storm combination. Swindle is in a ton of trouble, and down he goes. Z-Freak and Hanskin are forced back. Question is, can they catch up? Repel applied. Spectre, they're not going to find Z-Freak, I don't believe, unless the LSA / Laguna Blade find them. They do. Rubik does get out.
I really like this Disruptor versus Void thing. This may be the support here to deal with them. The glimpse alone is fantastic, and as you saw there, like, turning your ultimate plus kinetic field basically turns Void into a regular hero. Just takes any source of damage and he dies in it. It's really nice.
Did they pick Disruptor before or after the Void?
I think it was a little bit before. They picked it third, and then Void was picked after. Might see a fight here.
Yeah,
You have Ravage in a mech.
And mech is online now for Cheshire Cat. As Telekinesis is going to find J4, but the Repel will take everything off. He's just going to chill. Cheshire Cat has Ravage available, and there's TP support coming. Might have to use it here. Might be in a panic purification, and the mech keeping him alive.
He got it,
in a ton of trouble. Anchor's match, did he steal it?
He did, but he died.
Oh, he died immediately. That is truly unfortunate. It's 2 dead right after that for Complexity, and the glimpse bringing Swindle right back into the kinetic field. He'll have a time walk in 2 seconds. And away he goes. He's going to backtrack so much of that damage as well. And I think PR is going to have to back up here as the aggression now continues for Complexity. GA pop.
Great GA.
Recovery going to take a lot of mitigation there from the right clicks. Victim. Staying to TP up with the waveform is enough to take him out. And Recovery will just TP out. Safety. Complexity looms over him.
Slack's thoughts about the Somniac?
Unfortunately, everything's going to be delayed. He can speak, but he's choosing not to.
A different way than I was hoping you would go. What on Unite? They did win that team fight though. They stole Ravage, but then the Rubik died. That's so depressing. Not having Ravage, you know. You steal it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Nice job, man.
Nice job, but you died.
Moment. Yeah, but that was smart of Spectre to go on him. Like, that's what they were anticipating. He's like, I want to Ravage, but I know the Rubik's here. So Spectre's like, I got this. Blows him up. It's going to be really hard for Rubik a lot of this.
Oh, mid lane. Oh my, J4 blown up. 3 spells used and drops to the deck Recovery. Gets repelled, gets purified. Extremely low, but he'll walk away, or limp away more like it. I have to say that J4 on Disruptor has been probably the MVP for PR so far this game. Although he is very squishy.
Yeah, that's the problem playing against what TA, Morphling, Tiny. Tiny has a lot of levels or anything, but he will still be a threat even late game. Tiny needs to get 6.
I mean, it's not gonna be long till Limp has his
Wow.
What the heck is that?
You know, I don't even think he did that on purpose. I think he just fucked up.
Probably. But Limp will have his Deso coming up next. He can get one Mithril Hammer right now. And when he gets that, he can literally probably just 1 or 2 shot the Disruptor by himself. And that's gonna be pretty scary.
Yeah, man, that's TA. That stuff's really bad when you're playing a squishy support.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Recovery is getting hounded here bot lane by Z-Freak and Swindles. Do they have enough damage to take him out? I don't know. Z-Freak's only level 4.
Swindles is going for the maxed out time dilation second, which is completely standard build here. You don't opt for tons of bashes because your hero's not about bashing. Your hero's about staying alive, farming, and Chronosphere, basically.
If you're in like a safe lane farming Void as a 1, I think you take Time Lock there. That's like the only instance, right?
Yeah, I would get more level. I would still max Time Walk first. I would go 4-1-4 though if I was playing a carry role.
Z-Freak kind of knows what's going on. Oh man, Dragon Flame to find him, and he actually uses the Laguna Blade, which is a little bit surprising, but kills the kill.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around when you're dealing with the Tiny. You can Avalanche, you can toss or something like that. Just kill him at the start.
Oh, they smoked up. J4 finds Swindles again, and
wow, that's
an easy kill. When you're silenced and can't time walk away, Void is super squishy. Way more squishy than he used to be.
Yeah, I like to see a game where he gets wrecked. This makes me feel better about Enchantress and Void and all these things. It's very clear that these two heroes are really good against Void. They're doing it very well.
Do you really think Void is on the same level as Enchantress?
No, but I just don't like the trend of heroes that are kind of bullshit to kill, basically, if you don't have the right hero picks. It's like they're impossible to kill, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's what it feels like to me. Like Lifestealer, yeah, okay, he can go Magic Community, but you can play around it, right? But if you're playing against like Enchantress or Void and you don't have chain stuns or long duration silences, it's like you just don't kill them and they will survive. It becomes like unnaturally hard to kill them if you don't have the right heroes, and I really dislike that. It's similar to old Huskar, where he would literally take no damage from Laguna Blade if he was at like 20 HP. Yeah. That's a stupid way to have Dota be balanced. You shouldn't have to have like one of like 20 heroes in the meta to be able to even remotely deal with the person. Maybe remotely is too strong of words, but I feel like the Void is just way too hard to kill right now. You have to have like three stuns or you don't.
I feel some saltiness from yesterday carrying over that Enchantress match.
A little bit. It's more like I feel like I'm seeing the bigger picture, and maybe I'm getting just more frustrated with it, how it exists. Because I just see I just see like if you don't have the picks, man. And again, having the picks is important, but it shouldn't be like you have the heroes, you work. If you don't have the heroes, you don't work and you can't kill them. That's not how it should be. It should be like if you don't have the heroes, it is you only have 70% advantage against that hero. If you have the heroes, you have 20, like 120.
LSA actually misses, but he might find the kill anyway. The TP, I don't think we'll find it. Yeah, down he goes. Regardless of missing that LSA general, just getting warmed up, guys. No problem. This is on a Lux server, by the way. I believe the rules for NA versus, or at least complexity versus the CIS teams, it's Lux all three games, I believe. Just Sharkat, meanwhile, top lane. Well, Mont's gonna help him out here. His Limp might be in some trouble. Do they have any vision? Doesn't look like it. Oh, they can just anchor smash away. Just Sharkat out of mana. So they're just gonna chill. Oh, he blinks out. Did have Refraction up.
That was kind of crazy. It looked like he actually took the nuke while using Refraction and still got his blink off. I'll have to check that.
Instant replay. Oh, don't instant replay that. Jesse's invis here at the top lane.
Did you see the last stat? It was really interesting.
I did not.
It said you had a 30% win rate on Faces Void, and the last time you played him 7 months ago, you bought a Dagon.
Me?
Yep.
There's no way I would ever buy a Dagon. I mean, the win rate might be right. I have no idea, but no way I'd buy Dagon. That's a complete lie.
You sound like a goddamn politician right now, dude.
God, I cuss. Politicians don't cuss unless you're Trump, I guess. Wait, he doesn't even cuss, does he? No, he's just an idiot. Yeah, you know he's a big cusser for sure. I mean, honestly, he looks like a wife beater, if nothing else. Like that guy looks just evil. Yeah, he looks like a horrible person. Seems like a horrible person. Limp does have the Desolator. I'm gonna take out Roshan with it. Should be an easy one.
Yeah, by far one of the best Roshan killing tools. You've already got -8 armor from your meld ability and an extra 7 from Desolate. Means that he dies really fast. He dies so fast to physical damage.
Well, despite all this, the game is pretty damn even as far as the net worth is concerned. GA was used apparently.
It doesn't matter. Ability is shit anyways.
Now the question is, did Complexity realize this?
Probably not. It's very good against TA actually, and pretty good against Void as well. We just need to play a little bit safe until the next fight, and then they'll be okay. Looks like he's going fast. Aether Lens on Omni-Knight. This is actually one thing I really love about Aether Lens is it's actually a really nice item against AoE disables like RP or Chronosphere, because if somebody gets engaged on, usually you run at them to heal them, right? But then sometimes you just get caught in the AoE abilities. But Aether Lens actually protects you against those things in a way that Force Staff or Blink Dagger can't. So I recognize it as a really good item to pick up in cases against Faces Void and RP. I really like
Aether Lens is an interesting item in the fact that it kind of, in some cases, very slightly breaks a hero what it was intended for the hero. Because Omni-Knight, the whole idea behind it, like all his spells are, like if you look at them individually, they're completely broken, right? They're ridiculous, but the problem is they're low range and he's melee, and the Aether Lens kind of remedies that to some degree.
And he doesn't have a hard disable. That's the other thing that would prevent him from being a carry out of it.
Yeah. Swap out his degen aura with some sort of disable. There you go.
Then he would be truly OP. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be close. If he got like magic missile or some shit, yeah, he'd be so OP.
All right. So looking at Chessie, he has an ultimate orb. There's no way it's Linken's, right? It's got to be Scotty first. I don't. Lincoln's is good against Glimpse, I suppose, but oh, it's in the courier.
There's one important spell that he needs to stop, and it's Glimpse, because Morphling is weak to silence. So if he gets Glimpse, he just kind of dies. It's kind of the same as Face's Void here. It's a hard position to be in, and Morphling gets strong just by pretty much never dying and continuing to get kills and participate in team fight while farming. So
Glimpse is a weird spell. It's a lot of things that do not, like a Manta does not take it off, right?
Correct.
I believe not even. I'm trying to think what else. Like Aphotic Shield. Does it take that off? Because I know I'm pretty sure Aphotic Shield does not take off like X mark. Like X mark the spot is another weird one. Because we have another great stat by Sir Action Slacks. Yeah, it should be 130% Slacks. I can't tell if he messed that up, but.
Even though there is a Morphling that's doing pretty well, they still have the hard counter, which is Tidehunter, actually. Because he does reduce base damage, and all Morphling's damage is base damage. So Tide is very, very good against Morphling.
Yeah, that's true. Handskin with that doubled... Oh, that's going to be a Manta on Spectre. I'm not expecting that first.
Common build right now.
Cheshire Cat getting initiated upon. Kraken Shell activates. He doesn't have mana, though. He's going to go down to the Adaptive Strike. It comes a really late Haunt. So I think this might be for bottom lane. Yeah, Swindle, Spectral Dagger into everything that PR has to offer. So overall, it's a 1-for-1. Off lane for off lane. Not bad.
I think that gank was a little bit harder for complexity there than it was for PR. The Face's Void is just such a straightforward kill here. But he did buy out before he died. He got a staff and an overcloak. He's almost got eggs despite dying this much. He's been farming like crazy. 138 CS on him. He's doing a great job despite getting ganked so easily.
Swindle's doing a very good job. I don't know. You're just waiting for him to say literally anything to post that.
I wish that would have been like, I love donuts or something. And he would have posted that. Be like, Slacks is an idiot. That would have been the conclusion of my statement. Would have been, and then he would have like, good point there.
Good point. Alright, Limp still has the Aegis and 4,000 gold to boot. We're going to see a defense mounted here by PR. They don't have Haunt. They do have Ravage, though.
Have to be KB,
looking for initiation. Glimpse back by Handskin. Handskin's done. He's got to be the sacrifice. Everybody else gets the way, though.
It's an okay trade, I think. They're not too upset about that.
So Limp goes BKB.
Yeah, he has
obviously a really good spell.
They've got Ravage,
really good
they've got Glimpse into ulti. They have to worry about the Lina, for example, setting up on him. Just absolutely has to get BKB. There's no way he can. If he initiates and he gets Ravaged for 2 seconds, his team just loses the fight. Because at that point, the supports would walk away from TA, her blink is wasted, and then they're already initiated, and she won't be able to kill anybody.
What are your thoughts on... I've been seeing TAs get, like, more and more often now, a Moon Shard pretty early. Like,
I like it.
Like, it would have been, instead of, if BKB wasn't good this game, it might have been that item. Do you think that's good on TA in general?
I mean, yeah, it's good on TA because she needs to burst somebody within the first couple seconds to kill a support. That's how she functions.
She's gonna run into everybody. Oh, she wasn't watching. Refraction pops it, attempting to speed away. She'll be fine. Haunt was used as well, though. That ends up being a waste. Oh, never mind. Rubik.
That's why you get Manta, because you just basically say, oh, there's a support by himself. You're dead. You jump in, you dagger him, you Manta, and then all of a sudden you're getting hit for triple Desolate. It's just very high damage. Very good against Morphling as well, actually.
Even though he didn't do this, the whole Spectre Haunt being changed, I don't even remember how long it was, where you can jump back and forth and then you can go to your original position, is so big for somebody like Spectre. I mean, technically speaking, if he didn't initially initiate on the, or use the Haunt for somebody else, he could have gone back to his original position. That saved a lot of farming time. Chessie, in the meantime, Static Storm's going to silence him up. General is here.
I mean, they're not going to.
I don't think they have enough. Yeah.
Close.
He does have the completed Lincolns, as we said earlier. So, what does he go next then? Is this Yasha into Scotty? Is this just Scotty, or even Ethereal?
Scotty's definitely, or Ethereal is the next item. If he gets Ethereal, he's going to be able to kill heroes like Omni Knight, maybe Disruptor, maybe Lina as well, or he can go Scotty and just make sure that he can consistently kite.
Nice. Swindle's going to use Chronosphere. He's going to get Ravaged, though. Does have time lapse. In 1 second, it's available now. Can he get away? No, not even close.
Man,
and that tower's going to get denied as well.
Face's Void before, but
top tower has been denied.
feel a little bad for Face's Void this game.
Good. That's good to hear. I did not know that. These are actually really good stats, even if they are incorrect at sometimes, but that's fine. Stats guys don't really rely on accuracy, right? That's the motto, I think. Just
Sure.
abide by that, Slack. Let Slacks believe it. Fine.
Believe it slacks.
Looks like Complexity is gonna mount a. I thought they were gonna mount a push here in bottom lane. They still could. So it is a casual Yasha. I don't think he. Does he actually finish Manta, or he just keeps that as a casual?
I think you go for the full Manta, probably. I don't know if you need to.
Bye bye J4. Oh wait, hesitated.
Ooh, that was
Oh, he thought he was dead. It's unfortunate. Or thanking his lucky stars there. But some Ags are picked up. So Lina has Ags, pure damage now. Faceless Void, so lower cooldown and longer duration for Chronosphere, which is huge. The cooldown reduction is enormous. What is it normally? It's 60 seconds now.
It's normally like 100 seconds or so.
Great, I missed a kill.
I mean it.
We got it on camera, guys. It's fine.
Oh, it's the avalanche toss with the Maelstrom.
Yeah, and of course, Zeke Freak's had this Blink Dagger for a little bit of time now. Great to have for a position for Tiny.
And again, you might look at him and say like, wow, Tiny hasn't done anything, he's 0, 4, and 4, but always having that threat of like 800 magic damage is massive. Like, that's a huge thing that the supports have to worry about. Or even if he can engage, do a combo, disengage, and then come back in like 20 seconds or 17 seconds later is also a really big threat. So still nice to have support Tiny in the game a bit. He's not amazing at team fight, but in long drawn out engagements, he's a very strong hero to have as a support.
Plus, if you can end up getting an Ags on him at some point, then he actually just starts to hurt. I mean, can you think of a... Maybe there is somebody. Position 4 hero that will deal more damage than Tiny once he gets Ags.
Interest.
Alright, other than
That's
the
a
heroes that
legit
you
answer.
consider ridiculously OP. Yeah,
No, that's actually
legit.
a legit
No,
answer.
I know it is. But point is, it's a lot of damage. The Enchantress would have been great, you know? They had the ability to pick him, but unfortunately for them, it is Captain's Draft. Although Void was picked it was like 3rd pick, I think. So
Yeah.
both teams had the option of picking him first or banning him even.
Yeah, they did, but I think Complexity, they play in the NA region. NA teams generally favor Faceless Void a bit more, and PR has shown that they cover themselves against the Faceless Void pick. It's the Glimpse plus Lina, man. Can't do anything.
And Limp top lane had to pop his BKB to survive against the onslaught of Just Spectre, who, by the way, went Diffusal Blade. So no Radiance, or is Radiance coming next? I think you have to go stats now, right?
This is a pretty common build right now for Spectre. You just basically buy all the basic stat items, you get a Phase Boots, you get a Manta, and you get a Diffusal Blade. He's going to be very good against Morphling. He can drain his mana, that means that he can't use Waveform as much. He can prevent him from using his Replicate, things like that. And he's also got the slow ability that he can use on his opponents, so he can basically kill any support that he wants to if he haunts in on them. And that's a huge advantage you can get, because it lets you continue to get kills. It doesn't force you to slowly chase them down with Radiance. It doesn't limit your survivability in the early game. It gives you lots of options and lets you scale really well. And maybe it's not Radiance in terms of team fights, but the ganking potential that it gives you is definitely worth trading it for, and a lot of times.
All wands will break.
Limp's going to attempt to take out Roche here, but... Oh, there's a DD as well. This is scary for PR, who are looking to contest. Sharkat, of course, has the Blink, Shivas, and Ravagers. He's a pretty damn big Glimpse. Does have BKB, though. And J4 is not even close to having an Ag, so won't be able to prevent him from using that BKB if needed. But Static Storm is popped. Glimpse is available again, but that's a big team fight skill down. And Z-Freak looking for some action. He's going to get the Avalanche on Cheshire Cat. I don't think they really want to find him. As Swindle's going to initiate in. Haunt is popped. Limp taking quite a bit of damage. Swindle gets a one-man chrono. He's going to take out Big Gun pretty much no problem. Handsking taking tons of damage from recovery. Will go down. Cheshire Cat with a nice Ravage. GA pops. Swindle's taking so much. He's like nothing. TA in the meantime has to pop BKB of his own. TP away in the trees. Almost died himself. 2 for 3 in the end.
Very good there for
PR.
Complexity, considering that they used their 2 most farmed heroes to chase Lina down and eventually kill her. And they got her, but everybody else on the backline, they really lacked damage then. If those heroes are fighting and distracting them, then the Spectre's just cutting through them like a knife and butter, or whatever you want to say.
Horse through butter, yeah, absolutely. That's the saying.
Horse knife through butter, exactly.
Unfortunately for them, they don't really have the greatest Roche lineup, so they were not able to take that for themselves. And in fact, Complexity might be able to just do that themselves now that Ravage is down. In all honesty, it's so much easier, especially once TA is in the pit. And there she goes.
So
I was
Manta is
wondering
up
if
on
we
Morphin.
could Manta on Morphin, you said? Okay. I was wondering if we could get an update from Slacks via voice on what he thinks about this game so far.
Are you still eating a sandwich?
Is that your... So your prediction is Complexity will lose this game because of Rubik? Okay. Very nice.
I mean, Rubik's definitely not good against Spectre in this build, because Spectre will basically just haunt in and kill him. And you went Aether Lens first, which normally is an okay positioning item, but when the carry can teleport directly on top of you by pressing his R button and pressing his Z button or whatever the heck it is, then you're in a bad place. Like, what are you gonna do? Lift him and throw him away before he kills you immediately afterwards? You need a Force Staff or a Blink is the only way to deal with that, in my opinion. And Aether Lens, I don't think is the right item this game. I think he actually had to go the old school build and aim for mobility over the Aether Lens, because he just dies every fight at the start.
Mobility Ags, man. Wait, stealing Gush will give you the real Gush, the Ags Gush, right? In this Cheshire Cat.
If Rubik has an X.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He went for the old school builds. Chronosphere will be used on recovery. The Spectre, he's pretty damn tanky. Will likely use his Manta if he's able to survive through this onslaught, but he is not. Of course, does have buyback and haunt if needed.
Rubik got that kill.
There you go.
And there's the
Rubik.
blink. Okay, that's actually a really big advantage. You might think, like, why would you want him to have the gold? But if he has the mobility that prevents him from dying in the team fights, then that means it's kind of like an anti-Midas. It's saying that's how Spectre gets his gold, is by killing and feeding on supports. So if Rubik can then defend himself, similar to Gideon things like Ghost Scepter against Jugs, then that hero can't snowball as hard, and then your cores can better deal with them. So for Complexity to win this game, they need to protect their supports from Spectre just killing them at the start of every single fight. It's going to make a big difference here that he got that kill.
What do you think about J4 getting a Aether Lens? He can afford it now. Takes apart his boots. Time dilation used mid. Cheshire Cat won't be able to use his anchor smash for quite some time, unfortunately for him.
Are you talking about disassembling their boots?
J4 for an Aether Lens.
What is that?
Nope, top lane, Cheshire Cat. Chrono's geared up. Purify trying to keep him alive. Looks like he will drop to the deck though, and Gem goes with him. Swindle in the meantime silenced up. Gets Laguna bladed, but time left is away pretty much immediately. Glimpse back, and this should be the kill as Spectre is back in the front of things. So BKB popped by Limp. Doesn't have to do that much damage. Z-Freak just gets absolutely destroyed. So that's 3 for 1. Not what you're looking for if you're Complexity. And Limp's BKB charges have been used pretty liberally, and in a lot of cases not really needed, in all honesty, but he is dealing so much damage.
Yeah, he hits really hard. He's actually a good solution against the Tide too, but Chrono's the only way they can actually kill the Tide Hunter, because everything else is, every other disable would be wasted. So, you know, Spectre did the same thing, pressed his ultimate, jumped in, killed 2 supports very, very easy after using Manta. They just die instantly, and there's very little they can do. They need stuns. Something like that is a good way to deal with them, but they just don't have those kind of heroes, really. They don't have local blend of those. Oh, he gets the curse.
Oh my. What was on there? Not much.
Not much. They're going to buy something.
It was just an orb of venom. And a smoke. But yeah, I was talking about okay, J4 actually goes, that's pretty damn smart. Ghost Scepter to avoid getting insta-gived by TA. I was saying he could potentially just buy that ring of health and finish an Aether Lens of his own, but I don't know how good is it on him, because Glimpse is already ridiculously long range. Adding 200 percentage-wise isn't that great. Yeah, Aether Lens on...
Aether Lens is it's still a really good ability. It you know, it gives you magic resistance, it gives you a little bit of regen. It kind of covers a lot of the things that a lot of supports need. I would say the best thing about it, I mean, yeah, the glimpse range is maybe unnecessary because it already goes 1800, but increasing the range of your static storm and your kinetic field is really good if you're against a hero like TA, for example. That way, if the glimpse is a little bit out of your range, you can still catch the combo. So I think those 2 spells are pretty nice to have the increased range on.
But it just essentially allows you to stay 200 units farther away, stay out of the action.
Yeah, slightly out of the action, or it'll cover your bases if your glimpse is poor.
2 stats in a row with just Tiny's face. Really appreciate this high quality stats. Make sure to give Sir Action Slacks a follow on Twitter. He's basically exactly the same in person. Z-Freak, he actually went for 4 staff, so ultra mobility on the Tiny now.
Yeah, he needed that. He may need some solution against the Spectre as well, but it's too late to go Scepter because he's already got a Diffusal Blade, so... That's the issue, man. They don't really have a counter against Spectre, whereas the Radiant team can just buy Ghost Scepters. It's very unlikely TA is going to want to buy a Diffusal, so... Probably go Daedalus next, I'm guessing. She needs to continue having solutions against Spec. Maybe she could do something like a Butterfly as well, but... Maybe an AC. Could be lots of stuff like that. I think Daedalus is going to be the go-to, though. To one-shot people.
Alright. Recovery on the Spectre goes for ultra tanky in that Scotty, and he is pretty beefy now. 2500 HP. Obviously does quite a bit of damage and with that Diffusal Blade. He's only used 3 charges so far. Yeah,
I love this build. All 3 items give you a lot of agility, which means that all of your illusions actually do a lot of damage. Not just about Desolate, it's also about them attacking faster and them hitting harder. So he'll probably run this out. If there wasn't MKB on your opponent's team, you would grab Butterfly here to make like the best illusions ever, and to generally just make your hero really hard to kill. A little bit lacking on damage, but you know she makes up with that for having Desolate. So
Chessie has 5,000. Oh wait, he just spent it. It's probably it's a full Scotty. One full Scotty for you, Chessie.
Okay. I thought you were talking about TA. I was like, really? Scotty?
Oh, no. TA Scotty? Yeah, probably not.
Basically, same thing. Morphling's doing the same thing that Spectre is doing, just a slightly Morphling-centric build, which is getting Lincolns first. So he's now going to have the slow. He's actually finally a solution against Spectre. He can deal with the Spec, but he has to be fighting the Spec during the fight. Otherwise, his supports are going to get wrecked. Can apply that Permasil. That's going to do a lot to Spec.
Well, this Replicate's going to scout out J4.
They just didn't even... That was weird.
Alright, Haunt's going to be applied. Thunderstrike takes off the Lincoln.
Oh, that was... That
looking
toss,
for the
did you see
glimpse. I did not see that.
Oh, that was so sick. The Tiny tossed the Spec illusion that was chasing him towards his ally Spec illusion, and while it was midair, the Spec teleported to it. So basically he teleported out of position and wasted himself completely.
For legit.
It was really cool.
So that's
really
Haunt on full. Is this where Complexity looks to initiate now that they know that that big spell is down? Of course, they have to worry about Tidehunter Ravager and try to take him out in the Chronosphere. We'll see if they can do it, but no, TA is going to be used up. Cheshire gets off the Ravage, and Swindles drops to the deck. Limp might be next on the table, and indeed he is. 2 for nothing, despite not having Haunt. You are very strong.
That was a great play by Disruptor, basically, to put the silence on top of that, to say, like, if you get a little too close to this, then you're not going to be able to use your abilities. And it scared the TA enough where she was a little unsure whether she initiates, and by the time all is said and done, the Lina shows back up, uses him, and they get the Ravage off. So easy 2 kills there for them. Cost them some ultimates, but completely worth it.
Lina now has a Sheep Stick to work with, and I believe this tier 2 tower is in quite a bit of peril. Although Z-Freak and Hansky might have something to say about this.
Items are a little weird, but I really like them. It gives her really good options against TA, against faces.
You're talking about Lina?
Yeah. Yeah, really cool items. She can just permanently lock them down, basically. She can disable for like 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Not that much. So 6.
Alright, well, they're going to try to force a buyback here. I'm not sure they're going to get it. 30 seconds left for TA, though. Chessie showing himself to replicate out. Actually, that's another good reason not to get Radiance, is because of the replicate, right?
Yep, definitely. I don't think that's what influenced him this game, but if Radiance was the common build, then yeah, that would be a great reason to switch it up a bit.
Cheshire Cat getting pretty close to... God, I can't tell he's just doing that on purpose over and over.
Of course he is.
I can't remember what I was talking about anymore. Oh yeah, Tidehunter. He's getting close to a Sheep Stick of his own if he wants. If that is what he's going for. Of course, you have to worry about the whole buyback status now. Complexity, technically speaking, have a pretty decent, although there's a big chunk out of it now, net worth lead.
Disruptor's completely solo. Oh, we didn't see him.
Oh my.
And this guy keeps seeing enemies and not dying.
Living on the edge. Dwindle has a blink to work with. Pretty sure he sees Cheshire Cat now. Gonna right click. Time walk. Is he AFK? Okay, gets the Chronosphere off. They have enough damage to take him out. Nobody's even close. Not sure what this Chronosphere was about. Here comes Chessie. Silence up, Limp as well. They find the kill on J4. Cheshire Cat is taunting them, swimming away to his heart's content. And he is all alone, although he might have some backup in Lina. And there comes the Haunt as well. Toss of the illusion. Replicate is what Chesty getting Laguna bladed, but he's going to look through it. He's going to strength more away. There's the Cheshire Cat Ravage. And it's going to be a 2-for-2 at the current point in time. Cheshire Cat taken out by the waveform, and Swindles does not have a time lapse, so recovery will just pound away at him. And now it's the fight of the carries, Limp versus recovery, but they have vision. They do not. So 3 for 3. These fights are really close.
Yeah, that was a lot better from Complexity. They didn't even use the Chronosphere super well. Not saying that Swindles made a mistake. I think it was good that he allowed his team to catch up, but they didn't use it during the actual team fight, and they went about even there. Maybe the TA should have killed Tidal and then blinked aggressively and finished off Lina, but the fact that he was able to kill Lina was really big for Complexity there. And they also finished off the Disruptor, too, at the start.
Yeah, the Disruptor just dropped like a horse, right? But a duck? There's no ducks here, bro.
Well, ducks actually drop from the air, so after getting shot, so you know what?
No, another pre-roach. GA is going to be global now, thanks to that Aghanim Scepter on the Omni Knight.
That's going to be really nice. If anyone ever gets Chronosphere, he can cover them.
Yeah, that's an instant counter to the Void. Of course, they could potentially... You talked about it before. I don't think anybody's actually going to go for it, but... Do you think a Diffusal Blade is a good idea for somebody? Even just like a supporter, like the Tiny, for example. Counter this GA / repel.
I don't think they can afford it. The only hero that maybe would do it is... I think Faceless Void, you could argue for him getting one. But even then, I'm not sure. Can you Diffusal Blade off Glimpse? That's a real question right there.
I doubt it. I think when I think of Glimpse, I think of X Marks, and I know you can't take off X Marks with almost anything.
We'll see. BKB is obviously a good counter against Glimpse, but kind of expensive.
Yeah.
I think it's either Faces Void grabs
mid lane, very long initiation with that Sheep Stick Swindle. He's Static Stormed up and Laguna bladed down. Easy kill at the end of the day. And that, with the Aether Lens, Sheep Stick's range, I didn't even think about that, is insanely high now.
And he has Euls, and he had 3 stacks of Fiery Soul, so he just phased and ran at him at like 522 movement speed, probably.
Oh, Chesty picks up Ethereal Blade, by the way. He's looking for a big shotgun kill here.
This is when Morphling gets actually really strong. Let's start getting solo picks of himself. It's not on TA anymore to get those kills, but it's a little scary for them here. They want to defend this.
goes in with the Avalanche. Cheshire Cat very deep into the enemy base. Top Kiva, Z-Freak taking tons of damage, will all likely die. Bignum, the global GA off. Z-Freak was the only casualty, although I think, was that a buyback by Void? Perhaps a buyback by Void. Bignum in the meantime stuck in the trees, chasing. He's taking so much damage though at the last second, morphing up with his strength. Attempting to run away, Cheshire Cat caught within the Ravage, or within the Chronosphere, taking damage, gets off the Ravage just before he drops, and Chesty extremely low, trying to waveform away, and Complexity in quite a bit of trouble as Spectre's just continuing to right-click to his heart's content. He gets a nice replicate off, one more waveform in 2 seconds. Will he get away is the question. Lincoln's is popped, and I believe he's going to live, but this Rack may not.
He's going to save his Aegis. That's really big. That means he just needs to heal, then get back to the lane, and then they can fight. They're going to lose their range barracks at least. Maybe melee as well. Probably Mead's dead. But saving Aegis is pretty important there. Oh, he just ate the cheese. Okay.
That was... Oh, wow. Yeah, they had Cliff as well. Interesting. Didn't think they could... Oh, it just came off cooldown.
One of the issues is also that Chesty didn't have slots for our TPs, so it's not like he could just TP as he was at 70% heal. He actually had to heal and then walk all the way there. So they did waste the cheese, bit of a mistake. But I can see why they went for it. Rexes are important.
Spectre is very farmed now, has a full Abyssal Blade and 2k on top of it, has buyback.
I like that choice. Really smart. It's not a common item, but he's got a lot of attack speed from all these stats he's gotten, so grabbing a big right-click damage item that's going to lock down important heroes like TA, it's a really good choice.
The Lincoln Sphere being popped extremely easily by the Disrupt. He just throws Thunderstrike because it's probably the worst skill in this particular game, and you can just spam it pretty often. With the Aether Lens,
and it got buffed.
It's such range.
9-second cooldown now too, so you can easily use it just for that. It's actually
What's
a great
the cooldown on Lincoln?
Like 13? 17. They reduce it. Oh wow, it's all the way down to 13 now. They buffed it a bunch.
So Abyssal Blading Morphling is not out of the question.
Yeah, definitely not. I think he's going to save it for TA though. TA is the hero that is a little bit easier to lock down and just kill.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, BKB is not going to stop it, but she has Ultra Mobility now, ridiculous damage, 6-slotted, no buyback, but point of the game, maybe you can't really afford to do that. Now, the question is, do they try to use this Aegis? They only have about a minute left on it.
I mean, they can. I don't know if they will though. I don't think they'll be able to find a fight.
Oh,
They do
Chronosphere
find
on the Spectre, but there's the GA, and they have absolutely no answer for it. Dwindle is trying to figure out what to do. Ends up time walking away. He's going to get glimpsed back into the kinetic field, and there we go with the bastion galore. Did not even have to use the Abyssal Blade at all. No buyback available for Swindle as the right clicks commence. J4 pops the ghost up. He's going to live. There's the... Oh my god, Laguna Blade rips through him. J4 is going to be the target of choice for Chessie, but Chessie in the meantime waveforms away, but I don't think he's going to get away this time. Aegis, that was actually pretty close to being dissipated in general. LSA will miss. Chessie's completely surrounded and brought down. My goodness. The Abyssal Blade, Laguna Blade was what took down TA pretty much instantly.
Yes, it's just so good. If you guarantee the lockdown, you have the chance for another bash afterwards. And the Guardian Angel there on Omni Knight just completely making Faceless Void useless. It's pretty amazing.
Regeneration.
They really did need to defuse the Blade. Like, they completely lost that fight because of that. Void was just actually made useless this game due to the high nuke damage that they had in the early to mid game, and then late game they finally got Guardian Angel Ags on Omni Knight.
Man, the swing in this game was 7,500 gold lead for Complexity, and now it's the opposite. Absolutely insane. Flax was right, man. Saw that Ruby. It's gonna apply pressure to this tier 3 at top as Laguna Blade used again. How is that off cooldown already? Chessie replicates back to bait. He's gonna be okay for now, but it's not looking good for Complexity. J4 gets the glimpse off onto Chessie. Thunderstrike as well. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, and down he goes. Ravage just to ensure, and GG is called. PR take game 1 of this best of 3.
PR played this so well. Like, they just consistently played the game amazing. Great item builds and good support picks. I don't know if they're anticipating the Faceless Void pick, but they completely covered themselves against it. They had a great game and completely countered their opponent's heroes. So, fun to watch.
Slacks, any final words for this game? So that wasn't on purpose.
Wait, what?